Toby, first things first, that was a huge toss in this match. Anyone who won the toss, they're going to want to bat first and not be batting last on this. Thoughts on the surface, first of all, because it was certainly a dry one. Everyone knew that from the first morning. They knew the way this pitch should play out.
Yeah, it definitely was obviously an important toss, and we knew that coming into the game. I think, got to give them credit, I think, for the way that they just managed to hang in there, nullify us on that first day. Those first innings runs were always going to be crucial. Unfortunately, we've just not probably applied ourselves particularly well. Particularly after that first innings, I feel like we kind of let them bowl at us a little bit and made life a little bit too easy. But obviously, credit to them, they played really good game and obviously come out on the right side of it.
And if you're Hampshire management captain going into this game, you look at a Kookaburra game, experienced spinner like Liam Dawson, Middlesex come into the game, perhaps not with an experienced spinner certainly. A dry pitch makes an awful lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and it certainly, we didn't come here and get caught out or surprised by that. I think the guys knew coming into it what we were most likely to see, and obviously coming down here for a prep day, we got to see the pitch and knew, exactly what we had in store. So, yeah, obviously gone to plan for them, and fair play, like you said, their spin certainly made it difficult, but I think looking back on that, we certainly have liked to have made life a little bit tougher.
And the crucial points, I guess, one, the toss. It'd be nice to have bat first and got first go before the footholds were quite big, day 2 and 3. And secondly, 4 down in that first innings, whereby, if you could have got that 5th wicket, but then the partnership began, Gubbins and Dawson.
Yeah, and I think certainly we'd have liked to have maybe carried a little bit more threat through that 2nd and 3rd session on day 1, but I think on the flip side, I thought we also hung in there pretty well. I thought we came up with some pretty good plans and tried to sort of, mix it a little bit whilst also staying pretty true to our disciplines, and I think we generally carried that off pretty well. Obviously, Joshy's come out of it, bowling really nicely, particularly on a day 1 wicket, still carried a threat and held things together nicely. So, that's obviously a really nice caveat for him, and obviously hopefully a confidence booster as well moving forward.
And as harsh as it is to focus on a drop catch, but Gubbins on 61, that could have been a big moment as well.
Yeah, and you're right, it is harsh to focus, but also these are the things that do become crucial in games which, are going to play out, in the long form, and those tiny moments do often, come back to bear a little bit down the line. So obviously frustrating, it happens. No one's sort of going to dwell on that too much, but it's certainly something which, in an ideal world, you tidy that up, and things might look a little bit different.
How disappointing a defeat is it? I mean, obviously we've talked about the reasoning, the chronology of the match, but in the dressing room at the end, do you reflect, look guys, we should have done a lot better than that? Or is it pick yourself up, dust yourself off, it's a game that we knew was going to be tough from, well, as you said, the day before you arrived?
Yeah,
before the game started, sorry.
No, I definitely think it's, there are things, the toss was always going to be important, and the conditions, etc. I think the frustrating thing for me, and certainly from Jono and the other management guys, is that, I don't feel like we've probably put our best account, out there of ourselves. I don't think we've shown as much personality as I think we have, and, the guys are being encouraged to show that, particularly in scenarios where it's required on a turning wicket there with some rough. It's a real opportunity, I think guys showed it in pockets during the game, but not for long enough, and not as an 11. So I think that's the frustrating thing for me. I think these games offer a chance for you to really sort of delve in and find, all the skills that you do work on, and to have the courage and conviction to really execute those. And I just don't think we've gone out there really with that intent to do that, unfortunately.
Again, pinpointing, perhaps this isn't the match to do it, bearing in mind the track, but it's still 1 innings over 250 this summer with the bat, isn't it? Which is, coming something now. Middlesex need to find that Centurion for one, and find a way of getting over that 250 more regularly.
Yeah, definitely. And look, you come up against, in Division 1, you come up against, good attacks, and you come up against some challenging conditions. And obviously we've found that this sort of, side of it, we found it's obviously on a turning wicket rather than one that's sort of offering a bit more for the seamers. And yeah, I think there are a few guys who will feel frustrated, and I certainly know, looking around that dressing room, that we've got guys who are able to stand up, and like I said, we've shown it for small pockets there, but in these games you've got to be able to do it for longer and to outlast the opposition in those moments and in those key battles. And like you said, we haven't quite found a way to do that, but no lack of effort, and I'm sure the guys will be back to, obviously a bit of T20 mixed in now, but also there'll be enough time to focus for the next game also.
Part of the reason finally on the dry pitch was because of the ball as well, the Kookaburra ball. It was a great tactic from Hampshire, but given the way that the pitch played, was there much of a way to analyse the ball for you guys in terms of the difference?
Yeah, not loads. I mean, we played with it and we trained with it. Coming into this game, and obviously different guys had either played against it or bowled with it, and yeah, there's enough of a difference there. And I think the fundamentals of what you're trying to do, both as a seamer and a spinner, still are exactly the same with the ball. It's just about how it reacts, and then I guess probably in conditions like this, whether you can get the ball to maybe offer a bit of reverse or what you're going to do during the middle overs is probably the key really. So yeah, certainly no surprises with that, and obviously we've got the same coming up next game, so we'll make sure we're as tuned into that as possible for them.
I was just about to say, last thought, it's a big game next up for Middlesex now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I think the next 10 days will be making sure the guys are actually looking forward to that and the challenge that it provides. For me, those are the games that are exciting. Suddenly, yeah, there is a little bit more on it, but I think the way that we've sort of found ourselves falling a little bit short in the last couple of games, I see that as a good thing for guys to make sure that there's that little bit of added pressure, a little bit of extra angst on it, which I think hopefully brings out a side of us which we've been missing in the last few games, a little bit of that extra meat on the bone, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to find that much in Taylor's.
Thanks for your time, Sobes. Cheers.
Thank you.